Einen schönen guten Tag da draußen. Herzlich willkommen hier zu einer weiteren kleinen Unterhaltung in der Booty-Bühne oder Booty-Stage, wie wir es hier so intern nennen. Ich habe jetzt hier neben mir einen Mann namens John Rafacz.
Excellent. Oh. No one ever gets it. You nailed it. Well done.
Finally. My first word in English today. Und John gehört zu your representative of Treyarch.
Correct. Head of Communications at the studio.
Head of Communications of Treyarch Studios. Ja, und die sind natürlich unter anderem verantwortlich für die Call of Duty Spiele. Und wie jeder weiß, beziehungsweise ziemlich viele Leute wissen, ich bin ein ziemlich großer Fan von Call of Duty. Ich spiele das jetzt bereits seit 11 oder 12 Jahren und bin da so ein bisschen verhaftet. Ja, was soll ich sagen? Aber nichtsdestotrotz möchte ich mich mit John heute über das neue Call of Duty Black Ops 4 unterhalten, das demnächst am 10. September eine weitere Demo auf den eine weitere Beta-Phase auf den Schirm schmeißt, dann am 14. September und dann auch schon in Oktober ist the release of
Release October 12th and then there's a blackout beta mid-September. Yeah.
Yes, genau. Also, im Oktober geht's dann finally los, aber jetzt vorher wollen wir natürlich ein bisschen über die Spiele reden. We want to talk about your new game. And first of all, I would say we have a quick look about at the reveal trailer of Call of Duty Black Ops 4. For everyone who doesn't know what is Call of Duty about.
Black Ops, weapons free. Let's do it live. Guess who's back? It ain't a fucking question. They know the name out when the presence of a living legend. What you heard is murder, murder, you won't need protection. Blinded gun season.
Ist er weg? Ist er weg?
You are now not in the presence of nice guys. Bravo secure. Push it on me.
Every shot counts.
I hate her.
Enemy strike team deploying. Building barricade.
And I love him. Talk. He's my favorite.
Copy that, 113.
Marking targets. Sensor going live.
This is really nice that you have a shotgun now as a second weapon. This is one of the best pistol.
Heels coming.
Eat this.
A lot of action, as always, as usual.
Get access to the private beta.
And they have quite some changes in the game. You have a lot of, or you completely focused now on specialists, as we can see from the trailer.
I think maybe we look at it a little differently. Is that I think we're focused on teamwork and team play, and delivering a more tactical experience. You're right. Specialists play a big role in what we're doing, but the idea is that when you play a Call of Duty game, it's really important to give players the opportunity to kind of come to the table, and if somebody wants to be a Call of Duty badass on their own, and they can certainly do that. But part of the magic of the specialists is using their equipment and special weapons in a way that kind of speaks to your play style, but also figuring out how to marry that up with the abilities of other specialists so that together you can be more than you ever could have been on your own. Okay, and even in the trailer, like you saw, health is no longer auto-regenerative. You've now got to, use the stim shot.
I have to learn it the hard way. Yes.
Well, but what's interesting about that is that it adds this extra beat to the gameplay loop. So, now as you are working together as a team, you got to take a moment and think about how you engage a fight, because you just can't run in like a bullet sponge all the time anymore. You got to think about sort of, how am I managing my health? What does it mean relative to my team? How am I communicating with them? So ultimately, I mean, it speaks to team play and a more tactical gameplay experience.
But you're also able to be, that's one point you mentioned before, because myself, if I play, I'm a little bit of the, sometimes it's not quite the best way I would say it.
Just lay it on me, it's fine.
But
this is a safe space here.
I'm a little bit more the lone wolf, running around, go on the side, try to fall in the back and everything else. And what I thought is that now I don't have to change my playing style, my game style, but also be useful for the whole team experience, especially if you have an objection like domination, like control, like hardpoint or whatever.
Yeah.
And is this some development, some I would say, some wishes from the community you realized during your last Black Ops experience?
Well, I think that it's a couple things. So, part of the idea of creating a more, trying to encourage a greater sense of team play is the idea of encouraging more communication, okay? Because, the more you talk to one another, the more you'll be challenged to have a relationship, and ideally it leads to a place where there's less toxic behavior among players, okay? The reality is that no matter what you play, when you play, there's always time and place for a slayer. So, like, if that's what you do, you go be you.
I try to. I'm not really good at it. I try to, but sometimes, I go my own ways. But I thought in Black Ops 4 it was the first time I can do more for the team than before just going your own way.
Yeah. Well, and then if that's the case, then mission accomplished.
Which is your favorite specialist?
Mine? Typically my go-to is Ruin. And the reason why is that, like, just in the time that I've had the opportunity to play, like in studio tests and in the beta, like, when you talk about sort of unlocking combinations, a little bit of a slow study, but like for me, using his grappling gun and combined with the gravity slam, that's what kind of speaks to my play style. And if there's one thing that I was going to do that I enjoy doing just for myself, but also happens to help out the team, like that gravity hook will close a lot of distance really fast. I've got the button combo down, come in, and like you can take out 3 or 4 enemies in one shot with that thing. It's a lot of fun. Very, very gratifying.
Okay. What is, for me, a question I personally want to know, what is for you the biggest challenge in stretching the formula? How far can you go away from the beloved formula without annoying anybody or without getting too far away, but also give the people what they love and what they know and what they play for a long time?
Sure. I think that at its core, there's a fundamental experience that Call of Duty fans expect. All right. Then, especially when you jump into a Black Ops game, there's a sense of fast, fluid gameplay. Really delivering on that 60 frames per second, that cinematic multiplayer feel. And once you deliver on that, which by the way is no small task. Okay, I don't mean to just, you check that box and move on. there's a lot of time, a lot of energy that goes into making sure that remains intact. Because when you use that as a foundation, then there's an opportunity to kind of play at the edges, okay? And there's this real kind of, this real irony of game development, which is, if you simply give people the same exact thing that they got before, or then you're not innovating enough. And if you literally take verbatim what people demand, then perhaps you're doing something that's not fun. And there's a lot of research, a lot of iteration, a lot of development time to really find the fun. And being able to dial the knobs on where that fun is found around that very core experience is really where people, or where the team finds the chance to innovate. It's like, in the past, we have played with movement. This time with Black Ops 4, you find that we are very much on the ground,
no wall runs, no jumps,
very grounded experience. But I mean, the reality is that that's just part of the journey. Earlier we were talking about how long you've been a Call of Duty fan, and my very first Treyarch game, the first one I worked on, was Call of Duty 2 Big Red 1. Okay. We've come quite a ways since then, And even just a few months ago, we were at Comic-Con in San Diego talking about zombies and how, like, this year is the 10-year anniversary of zombies. I mean, that went from an Easter egg unlock in Call of Duty World at War to what is easily its own lifestyle. It's like, it's a whole deal. And now we're at a point where, like, this used to be this Easter egg over here, and now it's like 3 full experiences on disc, all right? Like, there is more zombies than you will know what to do with in Black Ops 4. Hopefully you try to play it all. But, like, yeah, I mean, when you have something like zombies, whenever you are able to sort of deliver on that core multiplayer experience and play, and even now with Blackout, it's like being able to take all of that stuff that made that made Black Ops what it is, and all of that heritage, all that experience, and put it in one place, there is still plenty of room to play.
Yeah, as you mentioned it, there are some new additions to the multiplayer. For example, a mode called Grab the Cash.
Oh,
the heist.
Yeah.
And also a mode called Control. Mm-hmm. Can you tell us a little bit more about the additions to the multiplayer, and especially about the Blackout mode?
Blackout?
Blackout.
I'm just messing with you.
Yeah, it's Blackout. I wrote it down. Please, don't make me nervous.
During the multiplayer beta, we introduced 2 new modes, Control and Heist. Let me do my best to give sort of the top-line overview. I'm sure that if I mess anything up, there's someone at the studio that will remind me of how I've done. So Control, 2 teams, one is tasked to attack an area, the other is tasked to defend an area. Best of 3 rounds, but what makes Control particularly unique is that each team has a designated number of lives. So it's not like you are, and again, speaking to sort of the team play and the communication aspects of a mode, sure, you could just run in and be careless with your lives, but not in control.
Like me?
Like you and me both, brother. I get it. And then Heist, 2 teams, opposing sides, each trying to get to this bag of cash from a bank heist, all right? And the goal is to get the cash and get it to the extraction zone, get it hooked up to a helicopter and taken out. Again, best of 3, but what makes this fun is that as you play along, each side, whether you win or lose, but in varying increments, will earn cash within the game, and you'll be able to take that into your store in Heist and upgrade equipment along the way. So, it's like there are a lot of different kind of game mode ideas in this, but, it also hits on a lot of notes of Blackout. Like if you sort of, get into Heist and like that, you're going to want to give Blackout a try. And Blackout is our take on Battle Royale style gameplay. And for us, what we're looking forward to doing is bringing what is essentially, you know, almost 10 years of Black Ops history and delivering it to this mode.
I'm really excited about playing Battle Royale in the AAA title. So
it's gonna be a lot of fun. In fact, if you talk to anyone at the studio that was involved in kind of the early days of Zombies development, you'd hear stories about play tests where it's just like, you know, it's this hour-long play test that, you know, people start having so much fun at that, like, it becomes this 3-hour-long experience. You know, it's like people are just having so much fun. And the same thing has happened with Blackout, where like every night we have an hour-long play test, and you know, it's like that goes on for some time.
Yeah, one day I will stand in front of your door and say, hey, let me try.
Well, I'm usually the first person that security calls when that happens. So it's like, we got this guy down here, so
just for, yeah, I will tell not everyone. And yet, now one question, one personal question also, and one a little bit nerdy question. All the game modes which are new, will they be also available in a hardcore mode?
Oh, good question. You know, that's one that I'll need to talk to the design team about, because that is a question you got to get right. So let me do some follow-up on that one for you.
Yeah, because I'm asking, but this is maybe some too into detail stuff we can talk about a little bit later, but questioning about it. We'll come back to this later.
Sure.
But otherwise, there's something also new to the development of Call of Duty. Your focus on the PC version is much, much stronger this time, I would say. And you hired an external team for the first time to develop and recreate the PC mode. And we have a short making-of movie where we can get some first details about the PC version.
Let's check it out.
Yeah.
Black Ops 4 is really a celebration of our community, and something we've wanted to do for a really long time is focus on PC as its own unique platform and give PC gamers what they deserve.
This version of the game is custom built for the PC, and I think that's going to show through in every part of it.
We've developed a really strong partnership with Beanox, in addition to Blizzard, who have been tremendously helpful in bringing the game to the Battle.net platform, and that's a first for the franchise.
Those of us at Blizzard have been friends with Treyarch for many, many years. When it came to working on Overwatch, we consulted with Treyarch on a number of features.
It's the first first-person shooter Blizzard has ever made, so hearing their advice really helped us build out our game. And it's really exciting that we can welcome them onto the Battle.net platform, because Call of Duty is a cultural landmark.
With all the features of Battle.net, I think it's going to be pretty amazing what Black Ops 4 is going to have to offer.
Is going to be fully integrated with all these social features on Battle.net. You'll be able to add friends, talk with your friends, see them playing other games, party up, and interact with them in game.
We're going to be able to talk to players across Black Ops 4 into Overwatch, which should be pretty amazing. PC players expect a lot of options. They like to customize their gameplay experience exactly how they want it.
At Beanox, we have a long history of PC development. And so the PC community is always in the back of our minds. We're really talking about making sure that we've delivered on what they wanted.
For the Black Ops games, we've always had dedicated servers, and this game is no exception. They provide the performance and the security that our PC players need.
We are testing on the widest assortment of hardware possible to make sure the largest number of people can play and enjoy Black Ops 4.
We really wanted to tighten up the gunplay mechanics and make the movement system feel as smooth and as responsive as it possibly can.
There also has been a whole redesign of the UI flow, and we have made tweaks to how weapons react.
Things like recoil, weapon knockback, so that for a keyboard and mouse player, it's easy to get back on target. We will have uncapped frame rate. We're going to support 4K, HDR, ultra-wide monitors. It's going to have great scalability options, so everybody will be able to optimize for visual fidelity.
you've seen the team here get rejuvenated and excited by this idea of bringing the game to PC in a much bigger way than we've ever done before.
And I'm afraid we are running out of time. So we know we get a lot of knowings now about the PC version, but there's a PC beta coming out.
PC beta for Blackout that is going to be open for all by September 15th.
And before there will be another
first on PlayStation, September 10th.
September 10th. And then the game will come out on
October 12th.
Thank you very much, John. I will have a talk now with you a little bit more into detail.
We'll chat about some things.
But thank you very much for all the information and for all the insights. Thank you very much. And I hope you have a nice Gamescom.
I appreciate it. Thank you. And you do the same. Try to stay cool.
Would be hard. So, wir sind raus. Vielen Dank fürs Zuschauen und bis gleich und zum nächsten Mal und zurück am Stand und so weiter und so fort. Tschüss.